Alright everyone, I want to talk to you about Hermit crab hair. This is the care tips that mainly is going to be the best and the most current care tip you ever see on YouTube. Comparing to the others, this is the most up to date that you can get. So what I'm going to be starting about, this is my setup. This is a 38-gallon glass tank. This is an appropriate setup that you could have them in. Don't put them in those setups that have wire mesh around and little critter keepers. This is an appropriate setup. So this is a glass tank, as you can see. And you're gonna make sure you would have a lid that doesn't have much, or that doesn't have too much ventilation in it, so you can keep humidity in. You need to lock in humidity. You gotta make sure that when they stay in, the humidity has to be around an ideal 75 or up to 80. But just don't let humidity go above 90. Sometimes it's okay to have it at 90, but you don't want humidity to be too much that it would be stagnant, because you don't want to have mold growth in there. Some ways that you can achieve humidity is you can get a amount higher, but it's greatly recommended for 20-gallon tanks and up. If you have a 10-gallon glass tank, you don't need a humidifier. All you could do is just use a spray bottle and spray daily. So that's a way of humidity. Another ways of humidity is you can also put moss. If you have moss and you keep it wet, it'll also keep humidity up as well. And it would help because small tanks you can regulate humidity better, but when it comes to bigger tanks it gets a little bit harder. So for heat sources, you can use a 75-watt heat lamp with a clamp fixture, and you have to have it at one side, because you have to make sure you have a hotter side and a cooler side, because if your hermit crabs have to go down where it's cooler at just to keep cool, they would have that place to go to. And the hot side is where you have the heat lamp at. But some little dangers about heat lamps. You don't want to have it too close to the glass that it will crack the glass. You want to have all flammables away from the lamp. Also, you can put a heat pad on the back of your tank, but never put it on the bottom, because if you put heat pads on the bottom, then burrowed crabs will get seriously injured. About substrate, you have to have it like 6 inches deep, maximum 4 inches deep. It has to be 3 times deeper than the largest crab. Substrates, you have to have a mixture of eco earth and play sand. Do not use the calci sand. Do not use the wood chips. Do not use the gravels. Do not use the colored sands. This play sand and eco earth is the best sand that you can get. It closely mimics your natural environment. These hermit crabs, and the in their natural environment where they come from, they live mostly on sand. They live mostly on sand. They have sometimes limited pebbles or the, you know sometimes limited gravel. You know, you see gravel out there when you go on the Caribbean beaches and stuff, and you see crabs going around. About shells, you have to make sure they have a proper fit. And you have to make sure you have to put enough shells in the tank, because they they will always change shells. Because they want to have their proper fit. You have to make sure your crabs doesn't shrink. You know, your hermit crabs always have to be in shells constantly. That would be like their outfits, because they periodically change. Never ever have painted shells. Always have natural shells, and enough shells for each of the crabs. What else? Climbing stuff. Yeah, 'cause these crabs love to climb. And you can choose lots of kinds of things. You can see in my setup, there's lots of choya wood pieces. You can get these pieces from the hermit crab patch. Sometimes in the pet store, they have these bendy vines, and they have these plastic plants, and they have some driftwoods. This will satisfy their climbing behaviors. Make sure also you get hides, lots of hides. They always love hides. They love hides. They want to be able to go somewhere and hide somewhere to get away from. If they get stressed, they want to get away and get inside of a hide. They are nocturnal, so they are active mostly at night, and at the daytime they just hide and become dormant and sleep most of the day. What I forgot about heat, right back to it. Heat has to be between 75 or up to 85 or up to sometimes 90, but make sure you're not having it over 90, because you also don't want your crabs to overheat. You don't want your crabs to be under 70 degrees, because whenever it be too cold, there goes the light. You don't want them to get too cold. You don't want to go down to stasis level. They will die if they're too cold. In their natural home, it's always hot down there in the Caribbean about these temperatures. So it's very important to keep your heat right, keep your humidity right. About foods, they're scavengers. They will scavenge and eat everything. They will eat animal fecal matter. They will eat fallen leaves. They will eat fruits and vegetables. Don't give them any foods that have too much spices or too much sugars. They can eat krill. They can eat brine shrimp. And you can give them seeds, sunflower seeds, almonds, nuts. That's their meatless proteins there about those nuts. They love coconut. So coconut puts in fats and lipids in their diet. If you want a more detailed list of foods, you could go to Epicurean Hermit. Any more questions or anything you want to know about, feel free to ask. And I'll put some links down in the description. Well, feel free to ask. Well, about water, you have to make sure you have your water dechlorinated. Um, because you cannot use tap water because tap water has chlorines and chloramides in it. Chlorines and chloramides can really hurt your microbiome. It, it, it can burn the gills. So make sure you have like the chlorinated water. We usually see lots of things out there that will condition your water. Um, lots of commercial products. Do not use the commercial products because they have like added chemicals or anything. The best water conditioner you can use is API tap water conditioner. I'll put a link down in the description of the API saltwater water conditioner that you could use. They need 2 water bowls. They need a freshwater bowl and they need a saltwater bowl. They carry shell water, so that's why you need to have their water at hand. So the salt water that you have to use, don't use the pre-made salt water. Use instant ocean, and you have to mix it yourself in some dechlorinated water. Dechlorinated water that's good is distilled water, or RO, reverse osmosis water. So that's just about water.